Three, two.
Hi everyone, welcome to the webinar hosted by AliExpress. Thank you for tuning in. You're watching Navigating Live Streaming E-commerce with AliExpress. For subtitles, you can turn on live captions and change it to your preferred language settings. There will be a Q&A session towards the end of the event, but you're more than welcome to submit your questions in the Q&A box anytime throughout the event. Just one reminder, make sure you include your email address when you submit the questions in case we wanted to follow up with you as needed. To see our announcements and submit your questions or see other people's questions, please click the question icon at the top of the right side of your window. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our first speaker, Mana Zhao, Head of Content Marketing at AliExpress France. Mana, I know you have a very busy schedule and are currently on the road, so we really appreciate you for being able to make it today. Can you start by telling us more about what you do at AliExpress France?
Yeah, sure. Thanks for having me. Hi, everybody. My name's Nana, and I'm with AliExpress France content marketing team. And we are here to help sellers and influencers to create meaningful content that brings valuable results. And I'm very glad to be here today on behalf of AliExpress.
Thank you so much, Mana. We'll come back to you later. Next up, I'd like to introduce our two industry experts from France. First one is Ivory Brown at MeSpace. Ivory, thank you so much for joining us today. Can you briefly share with our audience on how MeSpace works with AliExpress?
Hi everyone. It's good to see you. So AliExpress and MeSpace have been working together. MeSpace is an agency that has been created in 2015. At first, MeSpace is working on film production and advertisement shooting. This is how I have been partnering with MeSpace since then. And since 2020, MeSpace has been an agency consulting for live streaming. Basically, MeSpace is producing live streaming shows for AliExpress brand and consulting from the choosing of the influencers to the recording and the live show itself.
Thank you, Ivory. Okay, our next market expert for France is Fabso. He's an influencer working quite closely with both Mana and Ivory. Hi, Fabso. Welcome. Can you quickly introduce yourself to our audience?
Yeah, hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Fabso, and I'm here in Paris. I'm a professional dancer. I've been a dancer my whole life. And now, well, that was before the pandemic situation. And since November, I've been working in AliExpress as a live streamer, influencer. So yeah, and I'm really happy about this new experience in my life.
Thank you. Welcome again, Faisal. All right, moving on to our experts from Spain. First up is Via. She's also an influencer who's really experienced and has worked with over 50 brands for live streaming. Welcome, Via.
Hi, welcome everyone. So glad to be here. Well, yes, I've been working and creating content since I was 13 years old, and now I'm 21, so almost my whole life. Since I remember breaking my father's camera, and I love content creation, and I also make videos on YouTube and also content creation in Instagram, and I love the fact of like doing live streams on AliExpress.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Bia. Okay, last but not least, we have Laura Zhao from Link One Interactive, AliExpress agency partner in Spain. Hi, Laura.
Hey guys, thank you for having me. I'm Laura from Link One Interactive Agency. Our agency has been working for AliExpress on live stream creation for over a year now. We have hosted hundreds of live streaming sessions, and many of them involves working with influencers as well. So our work covers from live streaming design to match the best influencer or host for the brands, and also provide trainings to influencers. So I look forward to share our perspective and experience from an agency perspective on creating live streaming sessions for AliExpress.
Thank you so much, Laura. We have many reporters from Spain and local sellers from Spain joining today, so it's really great to have you to come here to share your perspective on this subject. So now that everybody has been acquainted, I'd like to move on to the first part of our discussions today. So what exactly does live streaming on AliExpress look like? And exactly how does it work? To answer that questions, I'd like to welcome Mana to share more.
Okay, thanks for the intro. Now it's my turn. Can we play the PowerPoint if it's available now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so here I'd like to take a few minutes to explain what is AliExpress Live and why we think it'd be the next big thing. And before we dive into this, I'd like to show you a short demonstration video from a live streaming show that we did in this February, recorded by phone. So let's play it.
C'est bon, parfait, merci beaucoup. Tout le monde en place, le live va commencer.
Thank you, Mana. That's a really cool video. Back to you to explain more.
Thank you. Those are the videos and shows that we created with our partnering agencies. And the girls that you just saw in the short video are AliExpress' very own live streaming hosts. They come from very different backgrounds and gather together every week in our live streaming studio to launch live streaming shows that focus on, for example, beauty and fashion related products. And for shows like this, we've done over 3,000 for France alone last year. And in Spain, it's about the same volume. So why do we put in so much effort in creating so many live streaming shows? Maybe we can jump to the next slide to find out. As you can see, the live feature on AliExpress has been around for 4 years. So we did not just create it yesterday. We've been around for years. So we started with the English language only and now covering over 12 languages with 91 million people reached so far as of December last year. And according to the research on live commerce that's conducted and released by Forrester in this April, 70% of European consumers are interested in shoppertainment. So what is shoppertainment? And by its name, it's shopping combined with entertainment by definition. So it is the hottest consumer trend in Asia that started in about 2016, led by Taobao and other e-commerce and social sites in China. It has changed not only how people shop online, but rather how people shop in general, fundamentally. It has become part of the lifestyle for many people. So it's not just a way for shopping, but it's a way for people to actually live, and especially for the younger generation. And that's exactly the reason why, or what we try to establish and roll it out in Europe, shoppertainment. So we entered into Spain in 2019 regarding live streaming. So we actually entered into Spain before that. And in France, for live streaming, we entered into the market last year in May. And since then, we witnessed significant growth on viewership as well as the GMVs for live streaming, and especially after the outbreak of the COVID-19 pandemic. So in the next slide, you will see here is a upward trend of live commerce on AliExpress, especially amid the pandemic. As you can tell, the viewership and the sales revenues have both hit all-time high right around Double 11. The signature shopping festival that happens once in a year, initiated by Alibaba's Taobao and Tmall, and now is celebrated by affiliated platforms, including AliExpress. It has become one of our most known and beloved promotional events in the year. So in the next slide, if we may quickly jump to it, the first picture is actually a live show that focuses on consumer electronic categories. These are all the shows we created last year. And these are the sample screenshot pictures. If you want to see more, you can check on the AliExpress Live channel. There's more to view. So the first picture featuring one of our very best live streaming hosts, Fabso, who's also on the panel today. So if you've got any tech-related products to sell, you may address your questions to our superstar, Fabso, later. And the pictures after it has beauty, has home garden, and fashion-related products into it. So we don't just focus on one category. We cover all categories on our platform. So we launch shows like this, not just around promotions, but rather on a daily basis. There's hundreds of shows like this happening on AliExpress across 12 languages every day to make sure that there's always content for our users to consume in-app. Most are created by the platform, meaning our content marketing team and our partnering agencies and live streaming hosts and influencers, and peppered with some content that's created by sellers like you. So why do sellers want to produce live streaming shows, whether either by themselves or with AliExpress? You will find these answers in the next slide. Let's go to the next slide. So for sellers, you may find a list of benefits right on here. And you may see live commerce is more than just a longer promotional video that lasts for, let's say, 1 or 2 hours, right? It touches on many aspects, as you can tell: traffic, direct selling, branding, relationship building, follower growth, customer services, and more. So it actually kind of includes even the daily operation side of the store. So it's rather beyond just, a content that you created for one show or for one promotion. I know it's a lot of effort that goes into it, but in the end, it also brings you more comparing with other content formats. And for consumers and live streaming hosts, I will leave those for our agencies and influencers to maybe further address later in their sections. So here is just a short rundown of the value of it. And after you get a taste of what live commerce is all about, you may wonder, so, okay, great, that looks amazing, but how do we launch a show like this on AliExpress? What do I need to do? And if you're thinking of these questions, that's great, because in the next slide, I will show you how. Let's jump to the next one. Here is the process to join AliExpress Live. Very easy, only 4 steps, simple as that. No books or manuals of 100 pages for anyone to read before you want to start. So we can go through them quickly together. First, make sure you're already with us. And if you're not, please do so, obviously. And second, go to your local seller support team and tell them that you want to launch a live streaming show. We've got teams on the ground in Spain and in France dedicated to help sellers just like you. They're your best friends. Go to them, submit your live request, and we can start from there. Thirdly, after our local seller support team and the content marketing team review the qualifications of the store and your product list, we will come up with a live streaming plan together with you that's tailored to every store or brand's needs. And the last step is for you to ship out the product, relax, turn to the live streaming channel, and enjoy the show. It's really easy. It's just easy as that. And we try to even simplify even more. Simplify the process enough to make sure that everybody can jumpstart as fast as possible. So that is just a quick rundown of what is live commerce, why we wanted to do it, how we did it, and how to do it with AliExpress Live team. If you have more questions, we can probably chat later in the Q&A session. And
thank you so much. Thanks, Mana. I think you touched on the benefits of live streaming quickly, and that was really interesting. I wanted to deep dive into that further. Start by talking to our influencer experts to discuss this subject further. So Bia, as an influencer who's worked with over 50 brands for live streaming, in your opinion, how can influencers bring value to brands and products?
I think AliExpress is a great platform because it connects brands to customers, and influencers are like the intermediary that represents the brands and show up the products. And people like AliExpress and they come to AliExpress for all the wide variety range of products they have. but they stay because of the engagement and all the platforms they offer, such as, for example, the live streaming sessions, which are very engaging. You can stay there, you can enjoy the process, and you can also shop for products. And I love the fact that I can connect people with the products to improve their lives. And also, for example, I collaborate with a lot of fashion and beauty brands. So it's very, very enjoying to see people that they like the products and also connect the brands that they like, or that they even didn't know that they existed, because I know products that I haven't realized they existed, and connected to the right audience. This is the best part.
Yeah, sounds like it's a really, really great way to naturally represent the brand in a very engaging aspects. So I'd like to turn to Ivory for the same question. Based on your experience in rolling out live streaming content for brands, what's your take on the added value that influencers can bring for brands and products?
So actually, yeah, the value is very important. First, an influencer can bring back the experience that we had usually in physical shopping, meaning the be able to touch the product, to see the products from all the angles, all the sides, and to have a real understanding of the products. So the influencer can bring that back, bring this experience back to the audience online through his showing of the products, and at the same time he's bringing a real experience, an experience that is creating a connection, a relationship with the audience, an exchange. And this is very powerful because you are creating an atmosphere which is very comfortable for the audience, which is making them laugh, making them react, making them ask questions. And the product is becoming the star of the show in this very comfortable atmosphere. All ingredients are actually included in order for the brands to be able to meet first consumers, ending clients, but at the same time to meet their real target.
Thank you, Ivory. Sounds like it's just basically a very easy and straightforward way to recreate the retail experience, but online, to let people to know what it's like to have that in-store experience, but at the same time, just needing to do that from your laptop or your mobile phones. So to deep dive on that a little bit further, Mana, I want to come back to you to discuss more about exactly how does this whole process works for everybody involved. So what is AliExpress's role in live streaming and the type of support AliExpress provided for local brands? And actually, most importantly, how much does it cost for local sellers to do live streaming with AliExpress?
Thanks for the question. This is Amanda speaking. For AliExpress Live, we actually offer one-stop solution kind of service that entails scheduling, bringing more the viewers or the traffic to the store, and the actual production of the show. We help to facilitate the entire process because it sounds rather challenging to actually launch a show, right? So we are here to help sellers to do it as fast as possible and make the process simple as possible. But in the process, I do get asked a lot, especially by local sellers. They want to participate, but one of the things that's stopping them to do that is actually they wonder how much it costs to do so. So to answer that question, we don't charge anybody to do live streaming shows. You don't need to pay us to launch any shows. For AliExpress, we are a platform and marketplace. You can think of the functions, including live streaming, as a marketing or a promotional tool. And we're here to help you make more money and not to charge you for more. So does YouTube charge anyone to upload videos? They don't. Does Facebook charge anyone for uploading pictures? They don't. Neither do we. So we don't charge you for starting a live streaming show, right? I hope everybody can get clear on that. So that is just a new way for you to reach more audience or consumers, and we're not going to be charging for more. So if you have that concern, don't worry about it. We're here to help.
Thank you, Mana. So, Laura, I want to come to you to talk about the role that agency plays in the AliExpress live streaming ecosystem, particularly for Spain. How exactly does agency support that for AliExpress live streaming system locally?
Okay. So as a live streaming agency, our main role is to connect brands with the influencers that speak to the right audience for the brands and products. We also train our own professional live stream host team to help with brand on creating high quality live streaming content. Also, with the help from AliExpress, we basically take care of the whole preparing process for the brands. That includes analyzing their needs or matching the most suitable influencer for each show, and also the whole content design process. We also try to help AliExpress by creating more show styles to make it easier for sellers to join. That includes some long-term shows like AliExpress Home or AliExpress Fashion, as well as brand-focused live streaming shows. By providing a variety of shows, we hope to empower the local sellers to tap on these opportunities of live streaming e-commerce. Also, another role of us is to provide help to influencers. We prepare trainings and rehearsing sessions with influencers for each live to make sure the quality. So those are basically our main roles in the industry.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Laura. So Ivory, I want to come to you to see if you have anything to add on top of what just Laura shared, considering that your focus is slightly similar, but mostly on the French market. Do you want to add anything on top of that?
Yes, actually, a big role of the agency, of the live streaming agency, is to basically find a perfect match between a brand and an influencer, and then between the influencer and the audience. And in this objective, what the live streaming agency is bringing is first a knowledge of the existing influencers on the web, on the market, and then the ability to find new stars, new influencers, new characters, new psychologies. So basically the ability to enlarge the existing pool of influencers. And this has acting, it's an acting process, and at the same time an psychological analysis as well. So this knowledge of the personality of the influencers is very, very important, and in my point of view is the most important point that live streaming agencies are bringing to brands and in their collaboration with AliExpress.
Thanks, Ivory. So speaking of very interesting live streaming shows and great talents to do so, Fabso, I want to come to you to talk about your journey of start doing live streaming, because I've heard that it's a really, really interesting experience. Can you tell us a little bit more about how you got started?
Yeah, well, the story is actually pretty funny. I went to a pop-up store like AliExpress did for maybe a weekend or stuff like this. I went there with a friend of mine, and somebody from the Midspay studio came up to me and asked me if I wanted to do some live streaming. And at first, I didn't actually know what it was. So I was interested and intriguing about the situation, because I've always wanted to be in that world, like, you know, talking in front of a camera, like YouTube kind of stuff. And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And when I know it was for AliExpress, I was like, that's a big company. So I really wanted to be a part of it. And my grandmother was Chinese. So that was, you know, that was kind of family kind of stuff. So I really like what I'm doing now. I didn't know what it was, but when I started, I was actually stressed. I really stressed for my first life, but I really like what I do, because that's an opportunity for me, for AliExpress, and for the live streaming world, which is going to be bigger, I guess. So yeah, I really like it.
Thank you, Fabso. So, but yeah, I want to come to you. You mentioned earlier in your introduction that you broke your dad's camera when you were 13 years old because you just love producing videos so much. Can you tell us more about how you get started, being able to do so right now with the content creation aspect to do live streaming for AliExpress?
Yes, of course. As I told you, I love content creation and I've been doing it since I was 13. And my way for starting an AliExpress live stream was a little bit different. They contacted me by email. And at first, I remember that my first live streaming, I was so nervous. I didn't know how to say, I didn't know if I had already set it up okay. But I remember also that at the end, I love it so much. I didn't want it to finish because I love the fact of engaging with the audience, of showing products that are quite interesting and they match with my personality. So I've been using all the products or most of them on a daily basis, like fashion clothes or beauty products. And I love that fact, and also the fact that I can monetize also my passion through live stream sessions, because that's my passion, like content creation and connecting with the public, and also the products, the fashion beauty products.
So you mentioned that you were so nervous in your first session. Can you, I'm sure you're a natural by now, I'm pretty sure, and I've seen your shows before, it's really great. Can you tell us more about how you prepare for a live streaming session, like your routine, how you prepare yourself, and the type of questions that you sometimes get from the audience during the live streaming session?
Okay, so before live stream, like I do my makeup, I prepare all the technical stuff, and I also make sure I have tried all the products that I'm going to show to the audience, because in that way I can get to know them and I can also explain the audience some tricks that I use to make them more effective, or my daily routine using that type of products. And in that way I can solve my audience questions that they can have. And I also like be able to ask and solve any problem or any question also during their live stream. And the questions they ask me, they're also about the products, but also my personal life, some of them. But it's also really funny and really engaging, because in that way I can connect more to the audience and they get to know me. So they trust the products that I also using. So it's very funny and engaging.
Thank you so much, Bia. So now I want to come to Fabso. Bia is more of a beauty product expert, and Fabso, I know the product categories that you cover is slightly different. Can you also share with us on how you prepare for a live streaming session and the type of questions, like any interesting or bizarre questions that you once got from audience?
Yeah, I kind of do. I do put makeup and stuff, but I always try to have a certain style, like to introduce myself differently, because I don't want the audience to be bored, because every time, every show. So I'll try to, I think it as a TV show, actually. I prepare all my stuff. I write everything down. I have all my papers around on the table to be sure I don't miss any information about the project. I have phones. I have earpods. I have smart watches and stuff like this. So yeah, I try to not bore people. So at the beginning of my lives, I put music, I make jokes, I can sing sometimes, to really improve it and try to do different every time. So yeah, I tend to know everything about the projects because we always have questions about it. And I want to be able to answer every question about the projects, like knowing the projects, that's the thing, and try to make it as a TV show and interact with people and really I don't want to do something boring, you know what I mean? I really tend to something energetic for the audience to be involved and everything. So when I'm like this, I feel like they're more, like she said, like they feel like I'm a friend and they can be, they can ask question easily, and that's why I'm here for it. So I get really I really prepare myself for those lives. Yeah.
Thank you. That sounds really cool. And I think that both what you just mentioned, both you and Bia, you guys talked about the preparation, making sure you know the products really well, and being able to come up with interesting ways to engage with your customers and your audience. So Ivory, I want to come to you as someone who helps train influencers to feel more comfortable and presentable throughout the live streaming session. Can you tell us a little bit more about your methodology and how you train influencers?
So yes, we train influencers on 3 different aspects. The first one is the product knowledge. So basically we give them all the needed information in order for them to know the products perfectly, all its aspects, technical aspects, how it was built, how it is be used, and so on. Also, in this first part, we give them the possibility to receive the products at a very early stage in order to try it out, to use it, to test it, and to have a real experience, a real personal experience with the product itself. Then there is a second aspect. It's everything that is connected to the shooting process. So we train them on how to react in front of the camera, how to react with the lighting, with the microphone. So basically we give them all a full training on how to behave with this camera, this microphone, this lighting, in order to bring to the show the best image, the best movement, the most suitable show. And there is a third aspect in the training of our influencers. It's also everything that is connected to the presentation style. So the choice of the words, the way to speak, the way to move, the way to interact with the audience, with the consumers, asking questions, making remarks. So this is the most important part, because at first, you know, the knowledge of the products is the basic. This is the basic. And after that, you need to create a show. You need to create an experience, something that is bringing a relationship with the audience. And in this, you need to improvise, to make jokes, to find a real balance between bringing information and at the same time having soft chit chats, jokes, interaction, and connection with the audience. So basically we put a lot of effort in training our influencers in this last part. And at last but not least, between live shows to live shows, from live shows to live shows, we also train them in order to have a continuity and a development, you know. So basically to create a development of the influencer, to create a story of the influencer itself from live shows to live shows.
Thank you, Ivory. That was really, really helpful information. So now that we've covered the ins and outs of how a live streaming sessions work from both the perspective of AliExpress influencers, I wanted to dive into the challenges part to discuss specifically what are the reasons why some of the brands haven't started trying out this trend yet. Mana, I want to come to you because you're the ones who's out there talking to the brands, trying to help them to leverage live streaming trends. So what are the local brands' concerns to try live streaming? Essentially, in your opinion, what's stopping local brands from trying it, and how are AliExpress addressing these concerns for the brands?
That is a really good and practical question. I think the biggest hiccup for local sellers and brands in terms of what's stopping them from working with us is the fear of not knowing how to conduct a proper live streaming show that revolves around, you know, product selling. Because you have to think about when to launch the show, what is the timing, right? Where to launch it, the location, where to get your audience to watch, and what products to promote, etc. There's a long list of questions or steps you need to walk through in order to launch one show. So do I need the nerves? We offer them the one-stop service to jumpstart it in app. That's why all they have to do is get in touch with the seller support team, and the seller support team will take their requests or concerns to me. We realize that it's very common for brands and sellers to run the show in Asia, but it's still a rather new concept in Europe. And the live streaming in Europe, the ones that you used to watch might be the ones that's on Instagram or Facebook. Those are kind of like lifestyle-related live streaming shows, or the gaming and esports live shows on YouTube and Twitch. So none of those live streaming shows you watch on a daily basis is related to product selling or is product selling focused. And that's the difference between live streaming and live streaming e-commerce. And AliExpress, we do live streaming e-commerce. So with that being said, that's what we are here to help you conduct a live streaming show that's not only just about being entertaining, but combining that with shopping. So for new sellers, you might need some handholds in the very beginning to get familiarized with the process, with the app, with the function itself. But after you've done it with us for, let's say, once or two, anyone should be able to organize it. So that's one of the other benefits of reaching out to us to create shows together is we've got a database of how the live streaming shows generally perform on AliExpress. So we know what products tend to get sold more or is generally preferred or favored by our consumers. So we could be here and apply those experiences on your live shows to help you creating a unique shopping experience that's tailored for your brand's needs and to reach your target users. So to summarize, if you got the live streaming needs, talk to our seller support team and me, then we can go from there.
Thanks so much, Mana. So in terms of other potential challenges throughout this journey, Ivory, I want to come back to you to ask you about some of the challenges for agency when they work with brands and influencers for live streaming. And what are your solutions to overcome all these challenges throughout the journey?
So yeah, organizing a live streaming is a challenge of itself. And also, it's very crucial because now the market is moving to the web. Actually, the market has been moving to the web for a long time already, but with the COVID pandemic, it has been accelerated. So this process has been accelerated. And so now for brands, it's very important to be present on the web. But being present on the web is not as easy as it sounds. It needs a full strategy. And basically, this strategy is a very specific job. So I would advise brands to focus on the fabrication of their products, on the designing of their products, and also focusing on their target audience, to whom they would like to sell their products. And partnering with us, giving us all those very needful information, we can then do our job is in putting all those information in the right way, with the right atmosphere, with the right people, the right influencer at the right time, and so on, in order to meet not only an audience, but their own target audience. This is the real challenge. And in order to reach this objective, brands, the platform AliExpress, and live streaming agencies like ours, like Laura's in Spain, need to fully cooperate together, and each one is actually bringing its speciality, its experience. And we, like Laura, like Mi Space, as live streaming agency, we have an experience of filming, of producing, of organizing casting, of choosing people, of communicating, on moving in front of a camera, and also on bringing everything in order to make the products a star and to bring these products on the right light. So the real challenge, in my point of view, is here, actually, in this three-aspect collaboration.
Thank you. I think that was a really great segue for us to start talking about the advice section. Now that we've covered some of the potential challenges, we talk about the journey for both the brands, influencers, and influencers agency. Let's move on to some sharings about actual advice for brands in Spain and France who's interested in trying this out. So I want to start with you, Bia. Based on your experience of working with brands in Spain, what would be your advice for brands who haven't tried this yet?
My main advice for brands that haven't tried this is that I genuinely think that local brands should invest in this because it's a really great opportunity. It's expanding a lot every month is spending the live streaming sessions, and it also helps you to put to your brand like an image, like an influencer that also represents your brand, which is really great for building customer loyalty and also for building trust to your future customers or your potential customers. So I believe that's the main reason why every brands, like I mean international and local, also should enjoy and should join these AliExpress sessions.
Thank you, Bia. Fabso, I also wanted to come to you to seek your advice for brands. Can you share some suggestions with brands and local sellers on how to make live streaming sessions more engaging?
Yeah, like my main focus is like to choose an influencer that most represents your brand. And my suggestion for that influencer is that the best thing to like sell a product is to be yourself. Be true to yourself, enjoy the process, enjoy the live stream, connect with your audience, and have fun, because it's a fun process of just 1 hour. And you're going to have that anxiety of like, I want more, I want to connect more, I want to have that extra hour for like engaging more with the customers and also show the right products.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Bia. So, Fabso, I wanted to come to you to ask your advice as well on this subject, because I've seen your live streaming sessions before, and it's so engaging. It's like I'm watching a friend talking to me about very interesting ideas and things. So can you maybe also share some advice for brands and sellers on how to create interesting and engaging live streaming sessions?
Yeah, thank you. First, thank you so much. And yeah, like Beth said, for the brand, I think it's a great opportunity for them to be seen and great seen, because on live streaming, you have the project. It's what you see is what you get. You know, it's not you go online and scrolling and try to find the best product. Like you have somebody showing you the product. So it's something. It's a plus for brands. So I think all brands should do live streaming for now, because that's the future, and it's for consumers. It's something. It's a plus. It's a quality, I guess, for brands. And to engaging live streaming, I guess, yeah, the personality, like Bia said, you have to bring your personality into those live streaming, and to connect with the audience, to feel. I want them to feel like home, like I said. Like I want them to feel like it's a friend talking to another friend about something they could buy or something, or maybe not, but just having somebody talking to something you may be interested in. So I guess for brands, it's a great opportunity, because it's going to be the future. And for us, yes, to bring very energetic live streaming and to introduce those products to consumers. So yeah, I think that's the thing for an engaging live session.
Thank you so much, Fab. So I think the things that between what you and Bia mentioned is that it's quite crucial for live streaming session to be successful if they can find the right brand to pair with the right influencers. So on that subject, I wanted to come to you, Ivory. Can you maybe share some more advice on this subject for sellers tuning in today who's interested in finding the right influencers to best represent their product and their brand?
Yeah, so Bea and Fabso have said very important sentences. Bea said, be yourself, and Fabso just said, feeling at home, like in a discussion from one friend to another. This is very important what they just said, because actually now the web, which is becoming the main commercial market, is all about recommendations, comments, interactions. Audience don't want, the audience doesn't want anymore to see an actor playing a role, showing a product, like it was the case in television or in cinemas. Now, audience wants to see a real person, to interact with this person. They want to recognize themselves in this person. So this person needs to be close to them. But at the same time, of course, this person has to, in a very short time, show all the aspect of the products, but it needs to, the influencer needs to do it in a funny way, in an entertaining way. And so this is the cue point for brands, actually, is not only to find an actor, but to find a real person that will embody their brand, embody their products, and show these products to the audience and interact with them. So basically, for brands, it's very important to now create this influencer pool and be present on the web, be present online, and start creating a story with the audience, a relationship with the audience. It's a kind of community, actually. Basically, the brand needs to create on the web a community of users around their own products. This is the whole point.
Thank you. Laura, do you have anything to add on top of what Ivory just shared? Specifically, any advice for sellers and brands in Spain?
Okay, so for selecting and pairing influencers, of course, firstly, we will start by look at the categories and personalities and content style of an influencer. And we also discuss with influencers beforehand of what product and category they are most enthusiastic and professional at. Then based on those information, we pair the influencer with the right brands and products. And also for a brand who is new in this business, they can also start by joining some existing shows like AliExpress Home and AliExpress Fashion, because for those shows, we work on multiple brands in each show, and each brand can join with a few of their most popular products to start with. And we have very experienced hosts and influencers that we have worked for many episodes already. So they are already very trained in their professionality and also in their categories. So by joining those shows, the brands can identify the right influencers for the brands and product, and also can start to understand the process and the data performance of live streaming e-commerce. So once they get a hang of it, they can then gradually start to move on to a more brand focused campaign or live streaming.
Thank you. Thanks so much, Laura. So Mana, I want to come back to you after we have both Ivory and Laura's input in terms of, from the agency perspective, what are the ways to help brands to grow in this live streaming trend? I also wanted to ask you, in your opinion, what's the agency's role in this overall live streaming ecosystem? And what are AliExpress's plans to help the local agencies in France and Spain to grow?
Thanks for the question. I think as a platform and a marketplace, not just a trend that we are the trend of the call. It's not just a trend that we're creating, because live streaming has already turned to a trend in many regions, not just in Asia. You know, a lot of people are talking about it all around the world. So since it's already a trend, what we are trying to do, or actually do, is to build an ecosystem or an industry that's revolving around live selling, because we're a marketplace. We connect people, right? We connect sellers with the consumers, and then we also connect agencies and influencers with the sellers. So we connect everybody. We're a connector. For the seller side, we are trying to create a reliable tool for them to help promote and sell more. And on the influencer side, we'll be continuing to hiring more hosts, but more importantly, turning live hosting into a legit profession, because it's one of the most trendiest or hypest or profitable profession in China as of now, but it hasn't really been fully recognized in Europe yet. So people here are treating that as a legit profession, and they're treated with respect. People consider that as the only way for shopping for many young people. So that is a bigger challenge for us, which is to create an actual ecosystem that helps everybody in this ecosystem. So ideally, that is the goal for us to reach in the future. And I hope everybody can be in this journey with me and with AliExpress together. Thank you.
Thank you. Mana, I actually have one last questions for you to conclude the discussions part before we move into the Q&A session. So exactly how do brands in France and Spain should get started after all the discussions above? Can you tell us the specific roadmap for AliExpress to further support the local sellers down the line? Mana, do we still have you on the line?
Sorry, I was on mute. I'm so sorry. Can anybody hear me now?
Yes, yes, perfectly, yes.
Okay, sorry about the hiccup earlier. So after today's presentation, if anyone is interested in joining us and launch the show, like I said before, it's easier than you could have thought. It's just 4 steps, like the picture that I showed earlier during the presentation, the introduction of live streaming. You need to onboard us first, okay? Because I need to know what products you've got already. It can't be just things that you think, oh, I got that in my inventory and may put it on AliExpress. No, it has to be products that got concrete links. They're presentable already. They're ready to be shown, ready to pick up on sales. Those have to be the products that we show during our live streaming rooms. Otherwise, you can't sell anything. It's just going to be 2-hour show talking about the brands, right? It's just for branding. You won't be able to make any actual sales. And I wouldn't encourage you to do that only. It's just a waste of your time and money. So let's be serious about this process. Let's get you on board the platform first. And then you talk to the seller support team and you tell them, hey, here's a list of 20 products. And let's say I work in beauty, right? I've got 20 products that's related to makeup and I want to promote. And the seller support team will bring your profile, your qualification, your information, and the product list to me. And then I will see what kind of live streaming host is better positioned to help you to promote. For example, Bia has been one of our hosts today, our beautiful live streaming host, Bia. She's been working in this industry for a while, so maybe she's a better live streaming host to help you talk about or sell makeup related products compared to, let's say, Festo, who's been kind of focused on tech and home related products, right? So it's for the platform, for me and my team to help you find the appropriate promoters. And then from there, we can also decide on what day to launch the show, at what time, and how many viewers we should be able to bring. So these are all the logistics problems, but they all start after you onboard us. And then after everything's locked down, all we have to do is really just to turn to the channel and, you know, watch it whenever it's on. It's really that easy.
Thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Mana. I think that was a very, very useful tips for our brands and sellers. Now I wanted to move into our Q&A sessions and open up for questions from our audience. Before we do that, just really quickly as a reminder for our audience today, in addition to all the discussions and the above info that we shared today, if you wanted to know more about how to leverage the live streaming trend, especially to help you grow in Europe, please check out the study AliExpress worked with Forrester earlier this year. We will be posting the link to the full report in the announcement section of this event. Just click on the question mark and you will be able to see the link. Now, going back to the QA parts, just a reminder to all the audience, when you submit the questions, please make sure you include your email address in case we need to follow up with you to help address your questions further. Okay, let's come to the first question here. The first one here, see. So this is from Zoe. Do you have data on how many people are interested in live streaming and or live streaming commerce in Europe? Mana, could I tap you for your help to address to this question?
Sure, no problem. To answer that question, maybe the Forrester report can do a better job. But from what I've learned from that report, it is quoted as 70% of Europeans are generally interested in live streaming as the content format. I think the number in Spain is slightly higher. It's somewhere around 78%. And in France, it's somewhere around 67%. And for the actual numbers of how many people are interested or what they are interested in about, I would suggest you to download the Forrester report. It's absolutely for free. You can read it through. It talks more about the history, what is about, what can help sellers and influencers. So maybe you can help me to drop the link to download in the chat box, so everyone hearing the presentation today can have the chance to download it.
Thank you. So let's move on to the next question from Zania. Is the live streaming agency charging for their services to find the match between our products and the best influencer to hold this live streaming session? And how much does it cost? Laura, could I tap you for your help to address to this question?
Yes, our collaboration is mainly with us and the platform. So for seller side, I believe that they don't have to pay for the agency part, but Mana can help me confirm that as well.
I can tell I'm really popular here. Every question is directing to me in the end. I would take a step at that. To answer that question, like I said before, many people want to do it, but they don't know how much it costs, right? But if you just onboarded AliExpress, we want you to try it as a promotional tool. So we help you to do it. We walk you by step. You don't need to pay us or pay the agency for anything. You turn to me and I will help you to step through the agencies and the influencers that can better help you to promote. And we come up with a plan in which you don't need to pay for anything. Just with the other zero commission policy that we have for the local sellers, it's another added on service that we provide. Let's say after the 6-month period, after you got a sense of what live streaming is done and you really like to do it further. And if you want to do it at the frequency or create a content that's more tailored to your own needs, then maybe that's the moment you can start talking to our cooperating agencies to design a promotional program that's more, for a long-term period. And that's going to be outside of our working scope. But if you turn to AliExpress for the first couple of months, it's absolutely for free because we want you to enjoy it as much as we do. So we pay for that.
Thanks, Mana. So we're almost at the end of the hour. I think we have time to address one additional question. So this question is asking, can you share some tips on how to attract audience in the live streaming session? Bia, could you help us to answer this question based on your influencer experience?
Yeah, like the first thing is like the image. You have to like provide a good image for the people and for the products because you represent the brand, and also make it enjoyable. Like as I said before, like be yourself. Don't be nervous, like you're talking with real people that is behind that screen. Show the product, like have fun. That's the most important thing, because if you're in a good vibe, the people notice that, and it's also like very contagious, and that's the most important thing for making it enjoyable.
Thank you so much, Bia. So I wanted to give everybody a heads up. We have already shared contact info for seller support team at AliExpress in the QA box. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to them if you need any assistance at all. This concludes our session for today. Thank you everyone for joining in. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks.